Thanks for
Oh,
joining us.
hold on,
I
Mark.
think we're, yeah, okay.
Sorry.
Let's make sure that it's on. And
Oh, it's
yep,
live.
it's
Yeah,
live.
go for it. Sorry.
All right, great. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Katie, Neil, and Chauncey for sticking with us on this. You may know that this concert was scheduled for Burlington tonight, but you're in the comfort of wherever you're at, and I'm sure we're going to have a great time. It's actually probably just as well because it's supposed to snow tonight up here, interestingly. I hope you can be generous with your contributions, and you go all of any contributions you make go directly to the trio. I'm sure you'll hear more about the CD project, and I guarantee you'll like it. If not, I've got a whole bunch of CDs behind me I could send you, some of which I don't like, I could send to you. That's my guarantee. And I realize that we can't hear you, but I would say, would you please welcome the Katie McNalley Trio?
Hey, everyone. So we're going to be playing a bunch of stuff off of our new album tonight, and we're trying something unprecedented. So without further ado, let's do this. Uh, Here we go. thank you all so much for coming tonight. We are the Katie McNalley Trio, and we're going to be playing a mix of stuff that we have pre-recorded. Chauncey lives in Madison, Wisconsin, and Neil and I live in Portland, Maine. And we actually were realizing maybe we should just do this all the time. It might be more convenient than flying all over the place. So anyway, Neil and I are going to play you a couple tunes now. Oh, I'm really excited about this CD. Sorry, I'm just like so excited. I keep forgetting. We that last set of tunes you heard, the first one is a march I wrote for my Uncle John, who got married last summer or the summer before at this point. And he and his husband got married in Italy, and I wasn't able to go. So the next morning I got all these pictures in the family text chain, and I got super weepy, and I sat down at the piano and I wrote that march, that wedding march for them. And then we followed it with a reel, a pipe reel, called Dr. McInnes's Fancy. And that is one of the tracks on our brand new CD that I'll tell you a little bit more about later. But you can order it tonight, pre-order it.
Where can they do that?
Oh, you can do that on my website, www.katiemcnally.com/store. The link is pinned at the top of the, I don't know which way it is, but in the comments section. But now we're going to play you some new tunes that I wrote just before the lockdown happened, actually. This first jig is called Samuel Sherry Esquire, and I wrote it for a local lawyer here in Portland who helped me out, which every time I say that sounds really sketchy, but
It wasn't sketchy.
It wasn't sketchy at all. And then we'll follow it with the Queen of Whitehorse Coffee. if you're just tuning in right now, this is a CD pre-release concert. It's being sponsored right now by Young Traditions Vermont, which is an amazing organization in Vermont that has so many incredible programs for young musicians, fiddle players, and they put on great concerts and other educational programming. And we were supposed to be playing tonight at Vermont Violins on our CD release tour, and but very happily they agreed to do this for us instead. So anyway, thank you, Mark and Young Traditions, and we're gonna keep going now with another brand new tune. This is actually not on the album. I wrote this maybe like the second day of lockdown. I owed a student of mine, Patrick, a tune for a very long time, and he requested an air, and I was having a really hard time writing a slow air. I had never really written one before, so here's my first attempt at a slow air. This is for Patrick Mayan. Thanks, everyone. We're gonna move on and play you another track off of our brand new CD. We recorded it in October at a studio called Gren's House in Biggar in Scotland, and it was produced by Anna Massey, who is an incredible musician. She's the guitar player in the band Blazin' Fiddles. She's also a badass fiddle player and can play pretty much any instrument. And she just had so much good advice and insight into the process. We were really lucky to work with her. So this track that we're going to play for you is, we'll start with a tune called The Lament for the Red Ladder, and it's by our really good friend Colin Cotter, who lives in San Francisco, California. And he wrote this tune as a teenager, and it was kind of like a teen fiddle camp hit jam. And I've loved it for so long, and so we did our own take on it. And Then we'll follow it with a tune called Francis the Miller by a Cape Breton fiddler named Dougie McDonald. And I learned this one a couple summers back from Maddie Rankin. And it's a great banging tune. So without further ado, with more technological magic, I'm going to screen share and get this going. Oh no. Hold on. All right, here we go. Sit back and enjoy. All right, I am about to turn things over to that guy who is playing all of those amazing viola lines. Please make welcome Mr. Shanti Ali, all the way from Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey everyone, so good to be here, and thanks for joining us tonight. You know, we were really bummed not to be on this tour, be hanging out with our pals, and seeing all the people that were coming out to these shows, but hopefully that opens up the doors for some of you to join us tonight that maybe wouldn't have been able to hear us play otherwise. I'm gonna play I'm gonna play some quarantine music for you, some new stuff that's happened since lockdown, and this first one is two tunes. The first one is to celebrate the life of someone we lost last month. Her name is Ellen Agerbach, and she was a close friend of our family, and she's a wonderful spirit, hilarious, strong woman, funky as can be. She wore her Danish heritage on her sleeve and a smile on her face all the time, and we'll miss her dearly. But like I said, this is a celebration of her life, and I'm calling it The Greatest Dane. I'll follow that with a tune called Breaking Quarantine, which sounds a lot more scandalous than it actually is, because I've been pretty much hunkered down since like March, I think 13th. But breaking quarantine is an expression I heard from a friend of ours in China, and I thought it sounded really cool. So this is my first live stream. I'm pretty excited here to try these out for you. So here we go. The Greatest Dane, Breaking Quarantine. All right. Thanks. Crickets. Well, this is cool. Okay, on to the next set. I had a birthday last month. My birthday is on April 2nd, which every year is unnervingly close to April 1st, of course. To know that you're born one day away from April Fool's is something you never quite get used to. But this year, it was brought to my attention that there are some benefits from having a birthday this close to eternal glory. My kids told me that, they're like, Dad, it's actually really cool that your birthday is the day after, because then we have a lot more options of, things to gift you with. And this year, that came in the form of a giant box, and I opened it, and there was another very large but slightly smaller box. And on it went. I kept opening box after box, smaller and smaller and smaller they got. And by the end, I'll tell you, I was pretty excited. I was thinking maybe a watch, maybe a ring. But the last box was, there was a little bit of nothing, absolutely nothing, to the hilarity of my 9-year-old son. So, and that was a belated April Fool's Day present, I think. So, this next tune I'm going to play you is the title is autobiographical, I suppose. It's called April's Fool, and the second one is called White Water. right. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed those. Next, we have from our first album, The Boston States. Am I doing this at the right time? Quick check. Yes, from our first album, The Boston States, recorded at Lakewind Studio in Nova Scotia with producer Wendy McIsaac. The first track off that CD, this is Colin McIntosh and the Black Horse.
I'm not here. This is all an illusion. So, really quickly, we want to send that track out to both of the Katie McNalley Trio's producers, who I think are watching. Wendy and Anna Massey has stayed up until like 2 in the morning to watch this from Scotland. If you haven't checked out her thing that she's doing, the Black Isle Correspondent, you should totally do that because it's definitely making our quarantine better. So we love you, Wendy and Anna, and I'm going to turn things over again to Shanti Ali.
Wendy and Anna, hey, that's awesome. Thanks for tuning in, you two. Gonna slow it down here with a sort of a two-parter, a suite maybe. I don't know if it's quite a suite, but the first part here is called Here, and the second one is called There. All right. Thanks, everyone. Sending it back over to Katie and Neil.
Woo!
Yeah.
Those are great tunes. I
Those are
love
so
them.
Cool. That last one was really cool. I was trying to follow along on the piano over here.
Cool. Well, we're gonna I want to throw this next set of tunes out to two amazing families who have been super supportive of us. I want to send this to the Buttons in Minnesota and the Robinson family in New Hampshire. Hey guys, we think you're the best. We are going to play you a set of tunes, another set of tunes off of the new album that we've reduced to duo format. If you like what you're hearing, if you would like to order the new album, at the top of the comment section, there's a place for concert donations and also for CD pre-orders. I think the CDs, depending on the supply chains and everything, are going to be going out the end of June, beginning of July. Disc makers, who we use as being awesome in making face masks out of their plastic CD shields for doctors right now, which is incredible. But we have just two more sets for you. We're going to play one live, and then we'll leave you with one more off of the album. But this one is a set in F. The first one is a Strathspey that I wrote for Bob McIntyre. We called it Compliments to Bob McIntyre. And then we will go into the Humors of Westport and follow that with Loud O'Byrne. And we'll end with a tune that I wrote for my mom. A happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Yeah, without further ado. How does it go? 1, 1. Thank you. Well, like I said, we have just one more set of tunes for you. But before I send you over to that, like I said, you can pre-order our album on my website, katiemcnally.com/store. And, we know that everyone is having a hard time right now. And like us, you might be out of work. But if you feel like you can spare a couple bucks, we both have had most of our gigs canceled through until October, if not much longer. So thank you so much for coming. And
we have a tip jar in
yes,
the comments.
That's what I'm getting at. That's up there. Anyway, we're going to give you one last set of tunes off of our album and then turn you over to Mark Sestick of Young Traditions Vermont for sign off. I think Young Traditions has a few more online events coming up. And anyway, thank you so much to them. Thanks to Mark.
They're a great organization. If you don't know about them already, if this is your first hearing about them, follow their Facebook page and see what they're up to.
Yeah. And this last set is on the new album. This last tune, I wrote it as a wedding gift for our friends Liana and Owen. Their wedding anniversary is coming up very soon, like next weekend or something. So anyway, happy anniversary to you guys. And here is the tune. They got married in Maine, where we live. We're in Portland. They got married at a place called Worthley Pond. So I'm gonna give you a waltz called Worthley Pond. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night. I'm turning it over to Mark Sestic.
Thank you. That was fantastic. Thank you all for coming. I just realized I don't have to pack up any, fold up any folding chairs and put them away at the violin shop. So that's great. I don't have to drive home. That's fantastic. The added benefit. We are going to do a few more events like this. If you're interested, just check out the Facebook page that you're watching this on. Thanks again, Chauncey, Neil, Katie. Beautiful music. Hope to see you all in person sometime soon. Good night.